Welcome to the Texas Metal Show. I'm your host, John fucking Winningham, and these episodes are long overdue. All right. Before we begin, I just want to apologize to all of our fans. It's taken us over a month to put out new episodes, and it's only because we went to South by Southwest, knocked out some amazing fucking interviews, and then we moved. All of that combined made Elizabeth and I not want to do any work on the show. But we've got plenty of interviews coming up. You guys have all probably forgotten about Independent Year 2 because it was in October, but now's the perfect time to refresh your memory on this badass show. On this episode, we interview Greenbeard and Pyre Ship, and then there'll be a sister episode released directly after with Tobin and Dar and Jody Seabody and the Whirls. Before we begin, make sure you go to TexasMetalShow.com, check your show notes, buy the albums we play on the show. Also, if you're listening to us on iTunes, please leave us a review, even if it's shitty, because it helps people see the show more. Heavy Metal Monday, April 16th, Sculpting Atrocity, Houston, Brutal, Death Metal, Sigma Brewing, 7:30. Come hang out with us, drink some beers, listen to an interview, win some badass free merch, CDs, patches, records, t-shirts, and then have a badass burger or hot dog from Umbrella Fellas. It's going to be a good party. One more thing before these interviews begin. These were recorded while the Astros were winning their game that would push them to the World Series. Please excuse all of the excited shouting and cheering. There were a lot of people in that tap room watching the game on that tiny TV, and boy, they were fucking happy when they won that game. Let's get to the fucking show. Yeah, world famous
metal columnist.
From Timbuktu to
Metal Gravitoid,
Houston.
ladies and gentlemen.
Probably won't mention this, but they've hit the Doom charts 3 months in a row. And you should ask them about that.
Okay.
What's the thought to them Doom charts 3 months in a row?
All right, so
we've been on the Doom charts 3 months in a row.
I didn't even know there was Doom charts for 3 months in a row.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We were talking about that avenue of spreading the word earlier. And, well, I think it's a SoundCloud, right? Do they do a podcast? What is it?
Yeah, they do. Well, I checked it out after they told us about it, and
it's another group of
SoundCloud.
good people spreading the word.
What was it?
Sorry, spit on you.
You spit up. Fuck it. Who cares?
It's a chart list of new releases in the stoner doom genre, heavy rock, and our new record just came out, so we made that list, and it came out a couple of months ago, so it's been on every month since it's been out. It's been sitting steady.
I think they keep picking new tracks from it, right?
Probably.
I think that's,
yeah.
And what is that new record called?
Load of Road Bowl.
Load of Road Bowl, but it's spelt real crazy, so when you see it, you're going to be like,
We
that's
actually
what I
thought
did.
about it a
takes a
lot.
minute, yeah.
We spelled it out, looked at all
we
the...
thought about it a lot and determined that actually that word would sound nothing like that, but we didn't give a fuck, so we did it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Motorhead has the same O in their name.
And they're legends, and they
think about
play
that.
the same 6 songs over and over again, and it's fucking amazing.
But it makes sense to us,
Fair.
so I think it's logical that it would make sense to other people.
I just want a disclaimer. I like Motorhead, but, you know.
Yeah.
I like to put, as many buried gems in there as possible. You gotta...
Was Load of Road Bowl
You
like
gotta
the
look
name
for it.
of the new record from the very get-go beginning?
No,
or?
we didn't have a name at all.
We rarely do.
Okay, so let's, since we got you here, and like you're one of the band, like you see it on Facebook. I love Greenbeard. I love doom
Very much
stoner
appreciate
stuff. It's what I like. There's 2 Johns. There's like the John that is me, my regular dude, and there's the guy who you hear talking right now on the show.
Yeah.
And like John fucking Winningham.
Do they have the same
The
voice?
host, they do have the same voice.
Gorgeous golden voice?
Yes, but taste variation. I try to be way more accepting on the show because there are styles of metal out there that I don't care for that you might, and I want you to listen to my show. But so in my personal life, Greenbeard's like right up top, man. Absolutely fantastic.
Appreciate that
So
very much.
tell me
man.
a little bit about how Greenbeard became a thing.
Huh.
Ooh, good lord.
Well-
Lots of drama and unexpected favors. And
Chance and I have known each other for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
We've worked together. We've been roommates. We've been bosses to each other. I've been his boss. He's been my boss. And different jobs that we've had. And we've always written music together.
Basically, being in a band is dating your brothers, and
So tell me about some of this
Minus
juicy
the
early
sex
Greenbeard
and the
drama.
popcorn and the dates.
So there's no sex, but you got to be real emotionally close.
Well, I mean, we've been through, without divulging too much, we've been through a few bass players.
Any particular reason? Is it hard to find a good bass player? Is it hard to find a good drama-free bass player?
No, most of it's fairly innocuous, actually. But there's some good, there's some dirt there. I think that's all I'm gonna share this time for that one.
So are you guys signed, or are you guys just putting out all your music on your own?
No, we're on Sailor Records, based out of Denver.
Okay, yeah.
Which is kind of related to a bass player situation.
Yeah, that first Sailor Records, that first album you sent me was fucked up, but you made up for it by sending me another one that was not fucked up.
Yeah, Sailor sent that out. We just showed him the picture you sent us, and he was like, "Oh, that's fucked up." And he sent you.
I don't. Sailor Records, if you're listening, I don't blame you. I'm sure it wasn't you that bent the fucking record up.
No, I've seen all the record labels. Like Ripple and STB. They all post photos of how UPS just mauls their gear when they ship it out.
They just fuck everything up. It's
giving
absolutely
me
disgusting.
ideas.
Par for the course.
I'm gonna make like an indestructible plastic case that's like cheap to make and
It's like
can
the
take
first
them.
2 minutes of Ace Ventura where he's fucking here.
That's right. You can't hear Elizabeth, but she's discussing things with the band. Ace Ventura came up oddly
First 2
enough.
minutes.
Let's take 1950s technology and put it in our
Jim
crappy mail
Carrey,
system.
Ace Ventura.
Okay, so how long has Greenbeard been around?
Since 2014.
That's it.
That's
huh?
when it started.
Just a few years.
But
3.
What, all right, is it
2015
3?
Yeah, really, it's just 3 years.
2015 is when we actually started playing shows, but Chance had the idea in 2014. Well, he's had the idea of the music a lot longer than that, but 2014 was when it made sense.
2014 is when Buddy's band very famously exploded.
And what band was that?
It was an old psych rock band called Deep Space, and just flew too close to the sun too fast, and our lead singer just single-handedly kiboshed the entire outfit.
Oh, that's a bummer,
And
man.
the funny thing was while that was all
Very
happening,
publicly too. It was good drama. It really
Chance was, we were working together, and we were like on the computer in the same office, and I'm making like flyers in my off time or taking phone calls about shows and tours, and Chance is just watching everything brew. He knows the personality of the frontman of the band.
That's all I was doing. I was watching the drama,
watching the drama,
and listening to Caius.
And just letting it unfold, huh?
Yeah, it exploded in Manchester on a tour, and when I came back,
Manchester like in London,
Yeah,
or like
in the
Manchester,
United Kingdom.
Texas. I don't know if that's a place.
Like
Yeah, you
Buddy
can.
and someone else got arrested and extradited.
deported. It wasn't arrested.
Wait, why did you get deported?
It's really simple and
Turns out it takes a work visa to play
yeah,
music.
we booked a tour like we always book tours on our own. We did it in another country, and at customs we weren't savvy enough to be, to hide the fact that we were playing music, because you need a visa to do that.
So
But
you just were like, fuck this visa. We're gonna go play shows, and they were like, get the fuck out of our
pretty
shitty
much,
country.
yeah.
Pretty much.
And the lead singer of that band stayed, tried to do the shows by himself, and further ruined.
Just him?
yeah,
Just one dude.
dick move, yeah. Just
Playing what kind of
Yeah, it's
music?
not-
It's psych rock with an
It's
acoustic
not-
guitar,
it's
so it was
not enough
horrible.
that we
Oh,
wanted-
wow,
it's
that-
not
He
enough
got
that we
booed
wanted
off
to
the
be a band.
stage. People didn't like it. Fans of the band were not cool with that. So anyway, it happened for the best. Came back. And Chance was like, all right, now's the time to unload this bomb of desert rock that I've been writing for the last 3 years.
So,
Worked out.
Caius. I was going to ask the main influence for Greenbeard. I'm safe to assume, since you said Caius a few times earlier,
All
that...
musicians are a sum of their parts,
Right.
Like, you can't not, see a 70s proto band and hear a little bit of little Jimmy in there, a little other things, But yeah, it's pretty much Caius.
Yes, pretty much just Caius.
It's pretty much Caius.
What else were you listening to as far as like Doom and Stoner goes?
It depends on the record and the time period. I mean, the first stuff, I'm still like, man, there's a couple of songs on the first one, plus one song in particular that I regret, that is accredited to nearly being a sleep cover, but actually I was listening to a crap ton of Dead Meadow. Like it was just like a year.
I've only listened to one Dead Meadow
Dead
Meadow record, and those guys, I believe they were supposed to headline the original Independent
really
before
stoked
Harvey
about that.
happened, and I was super excited because like I could interview Dead Meadow, like I could do that.
Great guys too. You know.
But we got Acid King and Elder.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just kind of.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a little Elder on the new record. You know, I still mostly it's Gaius and Hame, but I feel like I have a relation with some of his earlier records and lines.
Is it
I don't know if that's like the placebo effect that came first or well, you know, but
Young Concussion? That song definitely kind of has that kind of I don't know how to poppy.
the Kinks. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Damn it, dude. Okay, so in my life, in the last 2 weeks, the Kinks have, and this is a band I've never really listened to before. I'm 31, 1968. That's well long before I ever was anything. So the Kinks are new to me, and in my life, regularly in the last week, I have seen Kink references all over the goddamn place. So the last couple of days, I just got
well, pop punk gets accredited to, or you know, punk gets accredited to many different people in many different times. It's my personal opinion. There's only one real punk band, which is the Ramones.
Yeah.
But the Kinks and down that line, 70s pop is, in my opinion, what gave pop punk like a lot more of a melodic and the ability to write more melodic and comprehensive songs. I listen to a lot of ELO stuff, man. Like early, not necessarily early, but a lot of Jeff Lynne's songs have the like a pop punk kind of feel to them.
That just that bass, that driving kind of rhythm, and that Young Concussions has that. And that's one, like I said earlier, on the first time we tried to do a small interview, which didn't work because fuck you, Forming the Void, and your badass set you just played was ruining our sound. Forming the Void is great.
They killed it.
Young Concussions definitely has that kind of poppy beginning. Absolutely love it.
I'm not gonna lie, I came from the punk and the pop punk world. That's what I listened to in high school.
So when you were growing up, like when did that start for you? What age did you hear that first pop punk album and you went, holy shit, this is the kind of music that I love?
Oh man, that's tough. I don't know. The Get Up Kids and Operation Ivy kind of happened at the same time.
How old are you?
Actually, 32.
Okay, I'm 31, so we're very close to the same age.
Yeah, right.
And I remember when Operation Ivy was like super popular in school, but I was like,
well, you
probably
metal. Remember the resurgence because
that's probably that must
technically
have been what
that was like the late 80s, 90s. And
okay, yeah.
And then when Rancid started coming up, everybody was like, oh man, and everybody, all this stuff's awesome.
So they kind of got back. It kind of had a
that's when I ended up
circle
with
around.
I mean, a lot of those bands have been around for a long time.
I had a lot of friends who loved Operation Ivy.
Oh, that's a good record.
And I just was like, I only like heavy metal. Every other music sucks. Which now, as an older man, I've kind of gotten out of that mindset.
And now expanded the palette.
Yeah, what you need to do if you find yourself trapped in a box of what you think true heavy metal is, break down those walls because there's going to be bands out there that you're listening to. Listener, if you exist, I don't know if anyone listens to the show. Break down those walls because you have to.
Yeah.
Like JODC Body in the World. The first time I heard their album, the first song on their 2015 release, I don't recall what it's called off the top of my head, is like super like Beatles pop style. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ew. Like my buddy put the record on at the house and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, it's JODC Body in the World. And I had yet to listen to the album. But I gave it a chance, and once you get through that first song, the music way changes and it starts opening up. And I was like, oh. But had I never given that one song a chance, I would have just took that fucking record off and never listened to it again. Sorry, I just kind of.
I like pop music.
No, pop music's fucking great. Some of it.
Some of it.
Not all of it.
I mean, look at the new Queens record. It's like it's really
I've
dancey.
Not really sat down and listened to it. My older brother, who's around here somewhere, bought a copy of it for us to
jam.
I
said this before it came out. Said this before it came out, and it's. I knew it was gonna be true, and it's held to be true. Like pretty much every Queens record comes out, and you listen to it about 15 times, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I like this, and you listen to it about 50 more times. And then, like, literally 50 more times. And you realize you liked it the whole time. And
you're like, oh, the whole time, this has been absolutely fantastic.
Like, and it's kind of held true. Like, I heard it and was like, and I still, I'm gonna be a little, I'm gonna be a negative Nancy over here and say I didn't really like the production that much.
What was it specifically about the production that you didn't like? Because when it specifically comes to heavy metal, which is generally what we talk about, and obviously I wouldn't put Queens in that. area,
Correct.
but there is a weird thing with production where there's sometimes too much production as well as too little production.
I can't really be too critical without being presumptuous. I mean, I feel like they were trying for more like an electronic thing and more
you
of a
can't
dancey thing.
call someone on the phone.
Well,
You don't know, like,
I mean,
Hami
their
or
producer
anyone.
is Mark Ronson. He does
Right.
a lot of dance and electronic music. So
Right.
it's cool that they were like, yeah, let's work with someone that's not in our box of normal rock and roll frills.
But at the same time, Queens also has, and this plays perfectly into this, Queens has this kind of quality that it took me a long time to define, which is a lot of their studio stuff is very precise, squared. It's almost like clinical. And then you see them live, and they're maybe a little faster, maybe a little
Totally.
slower, it's a little
Yeah.
looser, and it feels totally different, but it's fucking awesome every time. That's pretty much what I mean, I've tried to capture that a bunch of
Yeah, a
times.
live
I think
Queens
the
of
last
the
record
Stone
is
Age
the
show
closest we
is
got to it.
completely differently impressive than the way their records impress you.
Well, isn't that what a show should be? When I went and saw Tool when Lateralis came out when I was 15 years old, so 16 years ago, one of my first thoughts was like, this is kind of boring. I just feel like I'm listening to the record, but there's
Well, that's
dudes
good.
on
I mean, that's a
stage.
great. I think that's a the correct perspective to take on things. But you'd be surprised how many people want to hear and really respect bands that are like note for note. Like, I want to hear everything. That's not how we roll.
The first time I heard
That's definitely not how we
Mastodon
roll.
live, I saw Mastodon with like Corrosion of Conformity and a couple of other bands.
Well, they're
that
so
had
damn
come
good they
through.
can do both.
But you know
They're-
what?
Yeah.
The show, honestly, I thought the Mastodon show was pretty terrible. They sounded like out of sync. Like the timing seemed off with the band.
Two guitars,
It was
man.
a little flat, like when they were doing some of the chorus lines off of what's that album that they did about fucking Rasputin? Crack in the Sky, which is the album that got me listening to Mastodon.
Right.
That was the album because I had initially wrote them off as this like new wave of American heavy metal band, which most of the new wave of American heavy metal sucks. Let me rephrase that. I don't particularly care for the new wave of American heavy metal.
That's
come out.
all right, dude. You
It is
can
not-
shit on people here.
It is-
We should
yeah,
break.
this is my show.
We
I'll
can break
shit on who I
We
want.
can break down some barriers.
Well,
all right?
last time I shat on Pantera, I think I offended one of the band members
Well,
we
dude,
were
that's tough.
interviewing.
Those. I mean,
Look, let's
I'm a
not
big
get- I don't wanna get into
they're
it
a
'cause
little
people are
fanatical.
gonna
Yeah, I mean,
fanatical.
the definition of heavy metal changes every 5
Let's
years.
talk about Load a Road Bowl and not about how fucking Mastodon.
But I
didn't
like tangents.
them.
Come on, there.
Yeah, because I can go on many
just
a
drunk enough.
tangent. So
Same producer as Mastodon.
Yeah?
Well,
actually.
okay, no, like
Let's
only
clarify.
As one of their
Parts.
records.
Parts.
which record?
Parts. Leviathan.
What?
That's probably my
Yeah,
second
correct.
favorite record.
And I'm not sure exactly. I knew at one point, but my brain is foggy right now. I know. Yeah, a cool guy though. Very talented.
Tell me about Battleweed. I love that song. I want to know what it's about. I want to know what it means to
That
y'all.
one's pretty straightforward. I mean,
Like, the enemy's coming, let's get stoned and kill them, right?
more or less, yeah.
But who's the enemy in the song?
Whoever
Is
you
there
want it to
okay,
be,
so
man.
it's just whoever you
You know what kung
project.
fu is, right?
Yeah, I do.
It's not okay. So most people when I say kung fu is like the martial arts.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Kung fu is whatever you're a master at.
Okay.
That's what the
So I
actual
could be a kung fu at podcasting.
Yep.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Yep, you can be a kung fu master at podcast. The basic actual definition of kung fu is whatever you train yourself to and excel at.
And what do you guys excel at? Making badass doom stoner metal. I like to genre it up, but some people don't like that.
problem
No, no.
solving, writing music, rolling with punches.
What about
all
rolling
kinds of
joints?
shit.
Saving
Some of the bands.
conjuring this shit up out of the air, winning $12,000 in Vegas chips when you need a new
Oh,
van
yeah.
and you're stuck there.
Is that what happened?
Oh yeah.
That
Oh, fuck
happened.
yeah.
Oh, I could tell
Yeah.
this story all day
Yeah,
long.
come on, let's do it. I want to
You
talk.
really want
yeah,
to
I
do
wanna
this?
hear it. Let's go.
Should I do it? You okay with this?
Yeah, do it.
All right, so Buddy also owns a backline company. We're also a backline entity. We put on the Psycho festivals, Psycho California,
yeah,
Psycho Las
okay,
Vegas.
that's awesome. I follow
So-
some of those on the Facebooks.
Our see if I can step around all the social landmines in this one. Our last tour that was 2 months long, 2 months, right? Yeah, 2 months long, where we cut the record in Seattle. Started off after we ran
So-
and played Psycho Las Vegas.
So you guys recorded the album in Seattle?
Correct.
we recorded the record in Seattle. Yeah.
Why is that? I'm just born just south of
Well, we
Seattle.
did it with Matt Bayless at the Red Room.
Okay.
And
Did you have him for particular? Like you wanted him for like
He bumped
a way,
into a friend of ours, and our friend passed him Stoned at the Throne.
which is great.
And
I
he-
really enjoy
Magic
it.
Mo-
He
tour
said,
magic,
I'd love
man.
to work with these dudes. And so we're like, well, we'd love to work with him. Let's make this happen.
He's immensely talented. He is immensely talented.
So that's why you wanted to work with this dude, because he's fucking talented.
Well, he made a lot of the records that we love.
He made a lot of records we love. He
gave
us a great price. It's not just metal, by the way. He used to be the keyboardist for Minus the Bear, or still is.
He did
I can't remember.
Botch, ISIS.
A fantastic talent, and he was. I'm not gonna say he was easy to work with, but at the same time, I'm not easy to work with. And it was probably mostly my doing.
Anyway, to preface this casino situation, basically,
let's get back on point.
In the middle, we had this 2-month tour that involved a bunch of festivals and the recording session smacked in the middle of it all. 1 week recording for this record, and the van broke down before we even got our hands on it on a different tour with another band
in Des Moines, Iowa.
Left in Des Moines, Iowa, at a transmission shop. Owner of the van was awesome, fixed it.
Yeah, the owner of the van was the owner of the festival, and he very graciously and awesome, again, a little bit of magic and help from your friends, rebuilt the transmission and basically.
But we're stuck in Vegas after the festival, and we have to get the van, and we have all our gear in the trailer at the festival
and the Hard Rock Casino.
So we need to take the trailer to Des Moines, Iowa, to connect it to the van so we can begin the tour.
And we've got about 36 hours.
Dan, our bass player, is a family man, so we had 5 days off between the festival and the next show. So he flew home to see his kids, and he was going to fly to Omaha or Kansas City for the next show. So it's just me and Chance. Everyone's gone after the festival. The fun is over,
we're seeing the bats.
Spending days.
We don't have hotel rooms
anymore.
Anymore.
Bands and all your friends.
Yeah, 5 days of hardcore.
And then Monday comes around, everyone's gone. It's ghost town. It's just me and Chance. So we're like, well, how are we gonna get this trailer to Iowa?
Let me take it for a second. Basically, the band that's supposed to take us from the Hard Rock Casino to the band being rebuilt in Iowa never shows up. It's this whole huge thing. There's tons of. It's a mess. All right, it never shows up. We're like, fuck. We've got to get a vehicle. We got to get a vehicle we can tow to go from Vegas to Des Moines. Take a very expensive Uber to the outside airport in Las Vegas because that's the only place where they rent cars. Put $1,200 on my credit card, which is basically all of our seed money for the next 2 months, all the gas.
Just to get you through the tour.
Just to get this rental car, a one-way rental from Las Vegas to
That we're
Iowa.
not supposed to be towing with, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not legal.
It's definitely against the rules.
Definitely against the rules.
When you play rock and roll, you gotta break the rules.
You gotta make it happen. Go to Walmart, spend another $50 on ball hitch and tow rig, all that stuff. Go back to the hotel.
Basically emptied our wallets out just to get back on the road.
Just to get on the road. And I'm a planner. I don't handle things going wrong. I'll handle things going wrong, but I'm I want everything laid out very nicely. So I'm freaking out. I have $1,200 on my credit card. That's all our gas money. Go back to the hotel, hook up the trailer. Go inside, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Get my guitars, the guitars, luggage, all this stuff that's checked in at the bellhop desk. I'm freaking out. I'm losing my mind. We're supposed to be out for the next 2 months, and we're broke now. And this guy right here, ever the cool one, pulls out a $10 bill and a $100 bill. He looks at me. He's like, dude, chill the fuck out. Chill out. Here's $10. Go get a whiskey. Go sit at the bar. Just relax. 45 minutes. I'm like, I'm stressing out. I'm like, dude, don't, that's $100. Don't go put it all on black. That's a terrible idea. It's a lot of gas, man. That can get us some places.
It's terrible if you lose.
But he's like, you're chilling, dude.
I wasn't playing roulette.
You're fucking up my vibe. Go sit at the bar.
Was there were you guys in a hotel attached to
we
a
casino?
It's the Hard Rock Casino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the real deal. There are girls on trapezes above the tables as we're all this drama is going on, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to actually make it.
I just in my head
halfway
what
across
I'm seeing
country.
in my head the way this place
and
is
we're
set up
spun.
is fucking
We've had no sleep and way too much alcohol alcohol for among other things for 5 days. We are spun, man. Freaking out. I get a whiskey. I sit down. Start talking to people because that's what I do. I kid you not, about 45 minutes later, this guy walks over to me. He's like, I'm in the middle of a conversation. He's like, put your hand out. I put my hand out, and he went and dropped $1,200 worth of chips.
Fuck it. So how did you do it? What's the story of winning? Yeah? You just, was it luck, or did you know what you were doing?
I play a lot, so I knew what I was doing to an extent. You can only have so much of an advantage over the house.
Right.
Luckily, it worked out in my favor this time.
Well, he'd been running it back and forth all weekend. And I'm like the opposite of a good luck charm. Like I'll show up at the table and he's like, "Go away."
Every time
Go,
I would
get out
see
of here.
Chance walk up to the table and see how I was doing, like, "Go away! Do
So
not
sin-
get anywhere near this radius of 30
Sinful
feet."
gambling saved Greenbeard's ass.
Sinful many things that I've seen.
It was just
they
it's
call
a
it Sin
sinful
City
5
for a
days.
reason,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
There's nothing shameful about it.
If you hit the road and you're not a pirate, you're doing something wrong.
You take note of that, everyone listening.
Definitely
That's
some
important fucking information to
Elements
have.
of piracy
There's some
need to be
elements.
there if
It's
you're going to be a
definitely-
successful touring band.
Hey, who is this? Dan?
Yeah. Where's the beers, dude?
Is this Dan? Dan?
Dan.
I'm John. I run the Texas Metal
Right
Show.
on. Good to meet you, Laura.
Would you like to sit down and talk with us, or are you?
Oh, look, you got your own mic and everything. That's so nice.
Good,
All
man.
right, so we've just been joined by Dan, the late arrival bass player
And
for
so
Greenbeard.
anyway, we have now 20 hours to drive from Vegas to Iowa and then go to the show in Kansas City. So Chance and I just blasted
Oh, my God.
as minimal sleep as possible, just drive nonstop. Just like you're seeing right now, Dan walking in. We get to Kansas City, we're just burnt, man. We're done.
We drove from Las Vegas. I mean, what was it? 30-ish?
Ridiculous.
32? Like, we pulled it close.
And
The
Dan-
dealership or the repair place left the keys out for us.
Dan
which is
shows up like, "What's up, guys? Welcome to Kansas City. Hey, I'll be getting barbecue with my friend. Let's go hang out with Tom." We're like, you don't deserve to be happy right now, Dan.
Yeah, you have any
Suffer
idea what
with
we've
your
been
brothers
through.
at this moment.
Oh, man.
That's fucking fantastic.
There was some point at like 5 in the morning and we were driving through fog somewhere. Who knows,
You guys must have
in the
some like
Midwest.
stoner angel just like watching over you.
I mean, we've paid some prices too.
Okay, so
There's
who's the
been some?
who's the stoners? Just raise your hand so nobody knows. Yeah, you can't see
out of
this
three.
I would
because
think
it's
it was-
fucking
I would
audio.
tell
I
you.
would think it's fairly obvious to be completely honest.
So like, okay, let's talk about the writing process of Load a Road Bowl. What do you guys do when you sit down to write a song together? Or does one person write a majority of the music and present it to the rest and go, "Hey, this is what I've done. What do you think?"
The latter, indeed. Chance puts it all mostly together, and then shows me and Dan, and then we kind of carve it out a little more, fine-tune the choruses and the verses and whatnot. And then the lyrics don't really come in until the lyrics don't get fleshed out
the lyrics are never fleshed
until they're recorded, and someone has to write down what Chance said that day. That's what becomes the lyric.
So there's just no official lyric. It's just whatever's going on.
I got a bunch of things that I usually go to.
Well, how do you go about writing lyrics then? If it's all crazy haphazard, what's the process if there even is one?
Well, oh man, you're asking like actual secrets now.
Look, you don't have. Look, we can just.
No,
end
no,
it.
it's good.
Done.
It's good.
Shut off the
Everybody-
equipment.
everybody wants to talk about their own shit. No, it's good.
Well, what would you?
I,
what do you want to talk about?
I'll take a story sometimes. I don't know. It's hard for me to define, to be honest.
It's just something that happens?
I think most lyrics, most songs are not actually about the lyrics, but more about the phonetics of how things sound together. Bowie would do that a lot, and he would take a lot of sentences or poems that he wrote, chop them up, try to string them back together in weird ways. So sometimes, yeah, I know the lyrics, and if it's a story or more of like a narrative-oriented song, like I'll have specific orders and things like that. Most of the time I say the same thing, but sometimes if I'm maybe a little up there, it's just phonetics, and quite often I'm not actually saying anything at all.
You're just saying whatever.
Things that
whatever sounds
you got to
right.
get really good at making things resemble words, and that's what dude, seriously, come on, Eddie, what's his name, Eddie Vedder, is that Pearl Jam?
Yeah, Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, I love Eddie Vedder. He's a great singer.
He put out a really good
Those aren't
ukulele
words.
album.
Those aren't words.
I heard that.
Those aren't
No, that's
words.
true, you're
like
right.
this isn't English. Axl Rose definitely is not saying actual words. Like it's all about phonetics and how you stretch them and make them sound weird. So if they can take normal words and make them sound like not words, why can't you take not words and make them sound like words?
That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Now, one thing I want to know: why are you late, Dan?
Traffic.
Oh yeah.
Astros.
Fucking you goddamn Astros. I'm not a sports ball guy, so I don't really give a fuck
they
one
had-
way or another.
They had like all the streets downtown blocked off. Cops.
Tell me a little bit about Love Has Passed Me By. Now, if you listen to that song, it's
Man,
clearly
that
some
might have been the first
lonely
one.
man lamenting the fact that he
I
can't
think you're
be.
using the words of the title. I think the words are in the wrong order.
Oh yeah, don't get us sued.
Love
now.
has passed by me.
Yeah.
I said me by.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Love has passed.
You have to actually
by
make
me.
that distinction.
I apologize.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
is there
like
another song?
Indeed,
There's
there
a
is.
legal thing there.
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
you heard it right.
I
Love
like it.
has passed by me. Tell me
Right.
about that song.
There you go.
I think that's the first song Chance
I think that's-
actually came into the studio with all the lyrics written down.
Oh
Every-
damn!
So this
That's
is
how
a-
I feel
So
about this.
I would,
now.
I would
is a
have to
song
say
He's
that
talking about how
it's
it's
definitely
lonely
a personal.
man lamenting and all this.
Well, have you heard the
He's
song?
Like, he had it all written
He
out. It
seems
was
kinda
ready
sad.
to go.
Like, oh, I just want someone to love, but
Well,
nobody
we're a
wants to
somber
love me.
band, Ed. Come on.
It's definitely, I think, a personal experience.
Yeah.
Partially.
Have a hard time, huh, Chance?
Yeah.
The ladies just.
No, things are good.
Yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
right.
They make for the best songs.
I'm all right.
So how? Okay,
I go the William S. Burroughs route to.
you like
to-
shooting
to-
women in
to-
the head?
to-
Is that what you like to do?
Actually, that was I guess I
Come
probably should have thought
on.
about the larger implications of that comparison.
So you've only been around since 2014, seriously, right, as a band. You released a 2015 album, Stone to the Throne, which was the first album that I listened to, which I absolutely enjoy because it falls in that vein of music I love. And then 2 years later, you guys put out Low to Road Bowl. What's next? You guys obviously have a plan or something is
yeah.
happening. No, apparently not.
The plan is
We
chaos.
have many plans, and luckily we found a few people who will tell us, no, that's a bad idea.
Well, what's the worst plan
Don't
you've
go
had
into
so
the
far?
studio to do 128 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what Loader Robo was originally going to be.
128
And then you know what?
minutes.
I'm trying not to name drop at all, but I will name drop for this guy because
No,
he absolutely
please.
deserves it. Jeff Henson from Duel.
Oh, I love Duel.
I cut it all the way. Well, he runs a wonderful studio at Austin. He's a very talented guy. He cut. Okay. By that point, I started off with like 128. By the time I got to Jeff, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a CD, man, like 72 minutes." And he's like, "Why? Why are you doing a CD?" I'm like, "Because that's what you do. You know, you're gonna do a CD." And he's like, "No one buys CDs, dude."
No, they don't.
The only thing that's selling is
Vinyl,
Thank
which
you.
is weird. That there's this
super weird.
resurgence of fucking
Well, how long is the
vinyl.
vinyl? Like,
I
what's
guess
the
it just depends.
What's the
really.
best? Like when
How
you start
long's
to
an
balance
LP?
quality versus content. Like what's the best amount you can
What's
get to?
too long and justice for all.
35. Like 35.
Have you heard
35 is good quality.
Injustice for Jason?
Uh-uh.
It's a remix of the record
With the basses, with the
bass
bass
where
lines
it's
in 'em?
supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we
bet
did
that
30.
sounds
I think we
pretty
did
amazing.
38,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
38.
38 and 37.
We went from 128 to 72 to 38.
36
from-
minutes.
36
That's what
minutes.
Apple Music says
Hey,
right here.
we cut
36
it.
minutes.
Maybe that's without the
Yeah.
spaces or something.
We went
I don't know.
from hypothetical to realistic.
Right.
It originally was also going to be a double album.
So we know that Chance loves
Shoot
Caius. We already established that Chance loves Caius. Buddy, what is your inspiration to do this kind of music?
Man, a lot of classic rock, really. You know, a lot of like Zeppelin.
But he
for
likes
sure.
John Bonham.
And I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of Zeppelin, trying to, be John Bonham.
Was that like a family thing, or just
No.
you heard Zeppelin and fell in love?
Just the drums and the sounds of the drums and the way they were recorded also branched off into me wanting to record and, work in the studio too. And Dan's got a crazy encyclopedia of inspirations.
Yeah, Dan, please tell me
No,
about your
I'm-
crazy encyclopedia.
I can't narrow it down to just one specific thing. I've
Can
had
you do like 5 specific things?
like
Just say Black
like Buddy
Sabbath.
said,
Just say Black
classic rock. Sabbath was Sabbath's like classic rock. I'd throw it in there, but a lot of old punk rock, like early alternative rock, early '90s alternative rock.
I grew up with the Buzz, the station here with all that
yeah.
alternative
That was great.
rock.
That
I
was
still
great.
will default to that. My friends are like, "Why?" And I'm like, "It's weirdly comforting. I don't really like it, but
man.
hearing the songs from middle school really make me feel good."
I grew up in Rice Radio. I used to go to
Yeah.
Houston quite a bit. Rice Radio was like, there's always something really like eclectic and good on the radio. They have just a total mix of genres. That's pretty much what I like.
Well, sadly, the next band's about to start, so we're not going to be able to hear each other. But Greenbeard,
Oh, it's fun, man.
for the
we're about
great
to
music,
start, so-
and thank you for
got
being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
You
It's our
guys feel
pleasure.
good?
Hey,
We're
yeah.
good?
Oh, yeah,
Thanks for
absolutely.
having
Thank you
us.
very much,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Very much appreciated.
listening to the show, an advanced warning. The Astros are playing what I assume is a very important game in the World Series, and you're going to hear some shouting and screaming, so we're just apologize in advance. But we are sitting down with Pyre Ship. Once again, yeah, Pyre Ship, woo!
Yay!
See? It wasn't the baseball, it was the Pyre Ship.
I'll take it. I'm pretty sure it was baseball, but I'll take it.
Welcome back to the show. You guys' episode is very popular. We've got quite a few listens.
Awesome.
And I think
No
it's probably
big
one
deal.
of our best.
I had a really good time.
So what is new? What have you guys been up to since we spoke to you last? I know there's like a split going down and maybe some new music being recorded.
Yeah, we're doing a split with Forming the Void.
From Louisiana,
And,
Lafayette, correct?
Doing a split with Forming the Void. Sounds great.
We're doing an interview at a brewery.
Oh, they
So-
know. If they're listening to the show, they know what's going on. Everyone's drunk, maybe smoking some pot.
Yeah, I smell lots of weed out there.
That's an important part of a music festival,
Yeah,
especially
right.
a kind of a psychedelic one.
Yeah,
One of my friends, Keegan, who comes, and he's a pretty stern music critic. He said we finally made it because he just smelled a wave of marijuana when we were
How much
playing.
weed's being smoked at your show is an indication of how awesome
Yeah.
you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about this split. Tell me about a little bit of the music on it. What's it called? When's it coming out?
We are waiting on their song. Everything's recorded. It's going to be a split 10-inch on vinyl, released on Black Bow. It's only one song because our songs are long, obviously, if you know who we are. and then they didn't like the mix, so they sent it, or they wanted the cymbals down in their mix, so they sent it back to the engineer. We're just waiting for it to come back, and then we'll move forward. And yeah, it'll be available digitally also, so vinyl or digital. So.
We're hoping early in the new year.
Yeah, we were hoping by Christmas, but I don't think that's going to happen because it's minimum 6 weeks from the pressing plant, and I don't know when the song's coming from them. So
Right.
But,
so you just make it right under the wire of the new year.
right. So, I mean, James and those dudes, those are like our guys. Like it made sense for us to
Well,
go forward.
how did the decision to do a split with Forming the Void come about?
I don't.
Mostly, we were just kind of like, "Hey guys, want to do a split?"
I'm pretty sure like it was a real casual, deal. And John from Black Bow pretty much told me, if you put stuff out, or if you record stuff, I'll put it out, like pretty much infinitely. So we want to at least record we want an album out every year.
So you guys keep putting out vinyl. I didn't have to buy the first one, thank you, but I will buy any subsequent thing that comes out on vinyl as often as possible.
I could probably speak for the guys when I say your money's no fucking good here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, so what else are you guys up to? Have you started writing your second album? Do you have any new material outside of the Forming the Void split recorded?
The first two songs in our set tonight are the new songs. One of them's on the split. One of them will be on the new album, and then we have one that's getting very close to being done. A couple others in the works.
Yeah.
One of them might actually end up being like a 20-minute song.
Yeah, one of them might be the whole side of one album, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much like it literally may be 4 or 5 songs with the length. I think our shortest song that we have going is like 9:20, like runtime. So, I mean...
But we were pretty surprised at the length of the songs. We thought they were like maybe 4, 5, 6 minutes, and we were timing them, and it was like, oh shit, this is like 11 minutes.
Well, how do you, as a band, when you're playing the music and you're writing your music, how do you gauge the time? Like, is it just a feeling you get? And you're like, okay, the song's over. Who gives a fuck if it's 18?
Generally,
Right.
I think we just kind of play the music until it feels done.
Yeah.
Be like, we're being really succinct and like not putting too much into this, and then it's like,
For those of you at home that can't hear or understand what's going on, everyone in the bar just got really excited that Steve started talking. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the Astros being 4-up on the Yankees.
But yeah, as far as the songs go, we have these ideas, these mostly conceptual ideas, and when you start doing things like in the way of like conceptual content, it just is as long as it needs to be, you know.
So there really is no gauge. Whatever you do is what you do, and when it's over, it's over.
And unapologetically too, you know. So like, it just is what it is. I mean, what is that Bell Witch album? Like 90 minutes or something,
right.
One song, or whatever.
I think the hardest thing for us is usually like figuring out how a song's going to end and have it not sound like, you know, total shit. You know, we usually have a pretty good feel for like what's going to go in. It's just sort of like, how do we wrap this up? But
it might be better if we just started trying to not write riffs that were like a 3-minute riff.
Yeah. But
no comment.
Yeah. I don't see that happening.
Are there any specific influences behind this new record?
For me, musically, no. A lot of the content is about like almost apocalyptic, like death and destruction and cancer and the long song that he spoke about earlier. My old roommate murdered his girlfriend and chopped her up into a bunch of pieces and burned her in the fireplace. So that song's about that. And you know, it's extremely dark, but in a very positive vibe way. Not like evil dark, but like, hey man, this is where our world is at. You know, like, and it is, you know. And we try as hard as we can to like bring a positive vibe to something that dark. You know what I'm saying? So
now, how do you even begin to undertake such a great project? That's a very difficult thing to have any sort of positive towards it.
I don't want to come off like we actually like put a lot of stock in that. They're general ideas, but like whatever comes out kind of is what comes out. And we generally, like, Sam will bring in a riff or George will bring in a bass line, and then it'll kind of spawn other like content ideas that we've already had or had in mind. So I don't want to sound like we like sit down and plot out this whole thing, but it almost kind of just falls into place, you know. So
generally, we just kind of we work our shit out through our music, and I mean, it's been a fucked up year for everyone.
A really fucked up year.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah,
it's therapy. Whatever these guys want to play is great. I don't care. I put drums.
I think
on
a lot
it.
of.
Awesome.
I think a lot of bands like kind of get lost in you know, writing songs in the practice space. You know, where they're just kind of like doing things extemporaneously, and you know, I'm never that into bands like that. So usually with us, like, the riff ideas are kind of like preformed, but you know, lyrically we'll sort of like agree on a subject or a concept, and then we pretty much like just write lyrics for each other's parts. You know, it doesn't really matter, like, if I wrote this, I have to write the lyrics. Like, we don't usually operate that way. It's just, you know, sort of here's the overarching idea, and, you know.
So when you're writing music, you really write together as a team. Like,
Absolutely.
you really, everybody brings something in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was watching a documentary or something the other day, or maybe it wasn't a documentary, but someone was talking about something. A band, and it's like, yeah, this person writes all the music, and then everybody comes in and learns it. And
well, you know, the Venomous Maximus is really, you know, I'm not like throwing shade, but like when I talked to Christian and Trevi, they were like, oh, you know, like Greg does. We don't really, you know, he writes all this shit and says, hey, let's go play it, and we fucking go
Right.
when we play it.
See, like for me, and a lot of bands are successful at doing that, but my true fulfillment, it musically comes from working with other people, because I can be so one-dimensional, you know. Like I'll think something's good. Take for instance the Murder Ballad is what we call it, the long 20-minute song.
Is that the official name?
Yeah. No, we just call it
That's
the
just
Murder
what-
Ballad.
that's just what it's called right
yeah,
now.
hey, let's work on the Murder Ballad. So like I had all these riffs and this idea for it, and like it was really one-dimensional to me. I wanted to scrap it. I didn't really want to do it, and they were just like, "No, dude, let's flesh this out." Like he had some ideas, and he had some ideas, and then we fucking played it, and it went so far beyond what I ever thought it could be, you know. So that's just like a picture of like I went home so like reminded like why I play with these dudes, you know. Like without that process, there isn't a band for me personally.
Well, I think like all four of us sort of have a healthy insecurity about writing and stuff, you know, and I think it's kind of constructive to walk into a situation and not necessarily have this idea in mind that I know the right way to do this, I know how this is supposed to go, you know, and like Jason usually doesn't write, you know, he doesn't like play the parts that I write, you know. It's like, okay, that's your part, now I'm going to do my thing, and you know, we're just constantly like sort of developing our own shit within a larger framework or structure. And you know, we do go through like these periods where we're like, this fucking sucks, you know, like I hate this, I don't want to play this. And you know, it's sort of like once you've actually gotten a piece like more fully developed and fully realized, you know, it usually is like much better than what you walked in with in the first place.
Cops.
So
Cops just rolled up.
Are they walking in or are they driving
No,
by?
they just drove by.
Oh shit! Everybody ditch your weed.
Hey,
yeah,
maybe they're here to
ironically,
see
it's because
Acid
of the
King.
crowd in here.
Yeah,
It's not
maybe.
because of the bands outside.
Yeah, it's all the shouting from the Astros fans. The cops are coming to get them.
Definitely not the.
If there's anyone listening to the show, and I certainly hope there is, if you have any doubt in your mind why Pyre Ship is an excellent band that makes excellent music, you clearly just need to listen to what they just said. Why would anyone want to be in a band? And this is just, I've never been in a band. I'm just learning how to play guitar. So like, I have days where I practice where I hate it. I'm like, that all really sucked. And then there are days where you're like, yeah, that was really fucking good.
That completely translates into a situation with people that have been playing their whole lives. It's just, that is the struggle. It is real, you know.
Do you,
like-
you kind of have, you always kind of plateau and go down and come back up
like
and hit those points.
when Sam was on tour with Omatai, I almost quit because like I start like thinking about shit too much, or like
How
you know,
recent was this past tour they just came off
yeah
of?
yeah and
That
I
new
was just
record's
like
excellent, by the
yeah
way.
and
thanks,
that
man.
was the whole thing. I'm like, fuck, like we don't even, you know, compare
What
to
am I doing with my
Omatai,
life?
like why are we even doing this? Like I'm lucky Sam's in the band, or like, you know, just all this.
Going down a spiral,
Yeah.
a black hole of what ifs
And then like
doubts.
then I'll pick up a guitar and I'm
He
like,
is
oh,
lucky
this is
that I'm in the band, but I'm going to let him
Jay's
finish.
creative process, the
yeah,
self-destruction and loathing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and honestly, he's exactly right. Like those moments are what create the best stuff eventually, you know?
Such pretty and heavy riff. It's great.
Yeah, so it's like I think you got to be a little bit fucked up in the head to do what we do, you know? So we've all had some really crazy ups and downs in life in general, and I think it translates, you know, and
well, it makes for excellent music. Whatever happened to you guys when you guys, like, your four powers combined, boom, badass music.
wait, there are 5 Power Rangers, right? Okay, dang. So we
I
can't
thought-
be the Power Rangers.
No, I was thinking Captain Planet.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah,
there 4 of those?
Yeah.
Was there 5? I don't know.
Have you guys ever seen the Don Cheadle Captain Planet?
Yes. It's the best thing on the planet. Trees everywhere.
So amazing.
No.
Captain Planet, motherfucker.
So how have you guys? Well, okay, well, obviously you haven't been playing shows because Sam, you were gone for how long?
A couple weeks.
How was that tour? How successful would you rate it? 1 to 10. 1 being horrible, 10 being spectacular.
I mean, versus tours that we've done in the past, it was probably a 10. But, you know, we did have a couple of, like, shitty nights where, and, you know, like an empty show on tour, you kind of start to like snowball in your own mind. Like, why am I here? You know, what am I doing with my life?
Right. There's only 6 people in this room.
Yeah.
We're not really probably going to even sell a record.
Exactly.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
But then you go to the next city the next night and it's packed, right? You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I remember.
Yeah. And we played some great shows on that tour, and it was a lot of fun. I think right now we're just kind of gearing up to put out the next record, or
Already,
at least start writing.
Sorry,
it.
we've
Yeah.
hijacked the Pyre Ship
Oh,
episode
no.
to talk about Omatide.
Hey, we should have grabbed
We can
Melissa
segue
because
that
she's here
into,
too.
Yeah, we're gonna
Talk about Omatide.
yeah. Tell
we're
us.
gonna edit
we-
this out
we
in the
can,
post production.
Like
we
a-
can segue that into our upcoming trip to New York, though.
Yeah.
So what's going on
Yeah.
in New York?
We we don't really have the means to do like a real tour, so we decided kind of as a band that we're going to pick regions and play 2 or 3 shows in that
Like
region.
micro tours.
Yeah, and because we can't really do that, so we got a show offer from
I can never take a week off of work. That's
yeah,
the
because
problem.
like Steve and I own businesses, and they have really, really important jobs, and it just isn't going to happen. Well, George does. He's a hero.
Yeah,
But-
George is a hero.
No, I'm not.
No.
I think he is.
What do you?
He's my hero. But
That's just because you have low standards,
yeah. Well, maybe
Well,
I don't
sometimes
know.
low standards are good.
especially in. Never mind.
I mean, I couldn't handle like seeing people on bath salts every day, But anyway, but yeah, we got this offer, and I was just expecting the guys to say we can't do it, and the first thing out of everybody's mouth was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So then I started working on shows around that date, and I was only able to secure 2 because it's coming up really fast. So we're playing in
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn and New Haven, Connecticut, and then coming home. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
which I feel a little afraid to say this, but I am a native New Yorker, and
Oh
I've
yeah,
actually-
you're in enemy territory.
Yeah, especially right now. But I have never actually been in a band, especially not a good band, that has played the state I was born in.
Yeah.
So pretty fucking excited.
Make sure someone record. I'd like to see some footage.
yeah. The bands that we're playing with have like a following,
So after you guys go to New York and Connecticut, what's the future plans other than there's a new album that's in the works, worked on, getting ready to be done? There's a split coming
We've
out.
got a few random shows out of town: Lafayette, San Antonio, Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
No, Bryan.
College Station. Yeah, like we're trying to
Get out.
get out and create a situation where we're not beating a dead horse playing Houston all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
like
you know.
and the like I've been playing music in Houston long enough to have learned that if you play every weekend, nobody comes to your shows, even if you're fucking good.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Sometimes not even your friends.
right. So, but with the strategy in mind,
Especially your friends.
yeah. With this strategy in mind, we've had, I can't really remember a recent show that, there wasn't a good crowd at, And so that strategy works, People look forward to, oh, are they going to play this month, or is it going to be 2 months, or whatever. We're definitely not booking shows every weekend, so.
Are you guys familiar with an Italian doom metal band, Mesa? They just played just a couple of months ago at Rudyard's.
I have heard of them, but I haven't heard.
If you love doom, get Belfry. You can get on Bandcamp. It is fucking amazing. They cover 6 different styles of doom in one record, and they pull it off phenomenally.
Right
But
on.
I asked them when we saw them about Italy and what it's like to play music and do they play all the time, and they're like, oh no, we do very little shows at home.
Yeah.
We don't want to be that band that is always playing at home. We want to be the band that when we play, people want to come because it might be
Right.
6 months before we play again.
Right,
So it's
right.
definitely a strategy worth going after.
And there's a fine line because, in all honesty, we're a young band, so we love to play together. It's hard to say no to shows. Thankfully, our schedules kind of limit us also. So, even though we may not take as much time in between shows as we would like, there still is like other forces that limit that as well. So it's kind of worked in our favor, you know. And it's nice to show up and just fucking see people there to see you, you know?
There was a good crowd out there when you guys were playing earlier.
Yeah.
That felt really good. I was gonna say that set felt really good.
How did all of the rest of you feel about tonight's set?
It was good.
Yeah.
I wish the drums were louder. That was a problem for me, apparently, all night. The drums are too quiet. Turn them up.
Well, your drums aren't amplified, so there's that. Well, all the speakers are pointing towards the people, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone said it sounded good out there.
Yeah, it
I don't
sounded
know.
really good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's a great feeling to look out and like people aren't bored. Like no one really walked away. In fact, more people actually they started getting closer.
Does that bother a musician on stage when people actively like in the middle of your sets like back up and go? Or are you just like, oh,
no,
fuck it?
not really.
Because I do it all the time because I have to like pee or go get a drink,
Right.
or I'm gonna go.
I think if we could like see past the blinding stage lights to really see the cloud, maybe it would be demoralizing. But at the same time,
you really
like,
can't see that far.
Yeah.
At the same time, I mean, we're not like a fucking super established band, so you know, if we were Acid King and everyone walked off during my set, I'd be like, what the
this is
fuck
bullshit.
am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. Like I like Acid King and Elder a lot, and like we got off stage and they wanted to talk to me, and I was like a little schoolgirl. I was like, oh my god!
You're like,
you know?
fuck it. How do I not look like an how do I not look like an awkward dweeb? Like,
And-
what do I do here?
That new Elder album is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
You know, I really like the 2015 release. I listened to it a lot, and I've only listened to this new album twice, and it hasn't grabbed me yet. I'm not
Right.
saying I don't like it, but it hasn't.
Right.
You know, when the album sucks you.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to, I've been listening to Motorhead a bunch recently,
Right.
and
Right
listening
now,
to Overkill.
missing
Like
it?
I just put that record on, and I just fucking. It's been
Yeah.
the main record I've been spinning, and it's been pushing everything else out.
No, King Buffalo's playing right now, and the fact that they're having to do everything on one stage, I don't think we're gonna miss them. So
Oh yeah, they're gonna do it all on that backstage. Well,
Which
what?
is-
I insisted on quite a lot of Motorhead in the tour van.
Yeah, we've been. My brother and I, my older brother recently moved back, and I've been practicing guitar, and we've been practicing Damaged Case.
Oh,
I've been
right
practicing
on.
at the house.
Yeah.
That on that second riff, the note switch from the fucking 5 to 12. I've been having a real hard time hitting it. So I've been practicing at the house over and over again, and she's like, "Oh my god," because I'm just doing it. Like, oh man, she gets so upset with me.
Yeah, that's
So
like
what-
one of the things like that's you never really completely get out of is you have to just play shit until it doesn't suck. To quote Melissa from
Well, I've been
Multi.
having some of those riffs. I've just had to play real slow and just try to speed up as I go because I can't keep up with the actual beats per minute that the song is supposed to be. What song do you guys want us to play? You got anything new we could hear, or is that still?
I can.
You fucking forgot the new tunes, didn't you?
No, I can send you the new song.
Yeah. What is it? What's it called? He's drawing a blank.
I don't know. What is it called?
The chorus was "Born High, Die Low," but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's a new Pyre Ship song that we're not sure what it's called yet, but this is going to be on the second album
No,
or
no,
the split.
It's going to be on the split.
All right, this is the one on the split.
Yeah, the other one and all the ones for the new album that we recorded just because we were at the studio, they're like not even close to being listenable to people.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thanks for being on the show again.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us so much.
Excellent.
Thanks for having us back.
And I love talking to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, go Astros. Woohoo.
Woo.
The time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination.
Thanks for listening, motherfuckers. TexasMetalShow.com for all your show notes. Go out and support your local scene. Go to a local show. Buy a local record. If you don't, you're an asshole. Bleh!